I can't type today. So, y'all remember when y'all said, "Well, I can't write a book because I don't have time." And I said, "Yes, you can, because all you need to do is download the Otter app, right? And just speak your book and have Otter transcribe your book in real time like it's doing right now." Look at the screen, y'all. Otter is transcribing what I say as I say it. And y'all see how accurate it is, right? Exactly. So you can actually write a book without writing a book, okay? When you get the Otter app and you speak your book, it'll type it for you. So I have a referral link in the description. So if you are interested in getting Otter, you can try it for 1 month at the Pro Light level. That'll let you enjoy all of the features that I enjoy at the pro level. Okay, so you get to try it out and let me know what you think, honey. Okay, so anyway, let's get into today's topic. Hey, y'all, it's me, Delores, the pastor's daughter. I help women to break free from spiritual abuse and toxic relationships so that they can reclaim their voice, their identity, and their self worth, and have fulfilling lives and thriving relationships. So, if that resonates with you, honey, then this is the home for you. Go ahead and hit the like, hit subscribe, hit follow, do all the things, honey, to keep up with all the things that I have going on. So, if you have been keeping up with all of the happenings that have been happening over the last couple 3 days, you'll know that we've been talking about the Shady Landlord. And we named this person Shady Landlord because I have mentioned in my book, The Pastor's Daughter Provoked, that my father had been accused of being a shady landlord. And so what happened was there was a daughter who decided to rent from my father. And she rented from my father after knowing that, after reading my book and being made aware that he was a shady landlord. And so I have to admit, you guys, I was the most compassionate person, when she called me and asked for my help. I wasn't the most compassionate person. And I have to say that it was a bit of a wake up call for me, right? Because in that moment, I felt vindicated. I felt validated. I felt like, didn't I tell? Like, isn't this what I said, right? Like, I felt like it added validity and credibility to what I was already saying. And then I thought about it, right? Because when you use your gift of discernment, right? That requires you to be a critical thinker. And so let's just look up, what does critical thinking mean, right? Critical thinking is the objective analysis and evaluation of an issue in order to form a judgment, right? A objective analysis. And then okay, so you take objective analysis. You say, okay, well, what does objective analysis mean? What does it mean? Objective analysis. Let's see, let's look it up. Objective analysis. Being objective, let's start there. Expressing or dealing with facts or conditions as perceived without distortion by personal feelings, prejudices, or interpretations. Wow. So then you think about analysis, and that is just evaluating the situation, but you're evaluating it objectively, right? Which means that is expressing or dealing with facts or conditions as perceived without distortion by personal feelings, prejudices, or interpretations. And then I started to think about this. You guys heard of like the snake and the farmer story? And that story is just simply put, the farmer sees a snake and the snake is cold and frozen. And so it's a deadly snake, but I mean, it's in a compromised position, right? Like it's about to die. And so the farmer picks up the snakes and put the snake in his bosom so he can warm up the snake and revive it back to life. And that's exactly what he did, right? He put the snake in his bosom, he warmed up the snake, he nursed it back to health. And when the snake got strong enough, he bit the farmer. And the farmer's like, why did you bite me? I nursed you back to health. I warmed you in my bosom. And the snake is like, you knew I was a snake. You knew I was a snake before you warmed me up. And so when I think about that story and I think about what happened in this situation with the shady landlord, it's really not a surprise, right? It's not a surprise that a person acted in their nature in the behavior that they have been exhibiting, right? Because a good indicator of future behavior is past behavior. But I had to think critically about this, right? Do I really, let's just talk about me here. Do I really want to feel validated or vindicated off of the misfortune of another woman? I mean, think about that. And think about how we've all done that. I mean, not only have we all done that, right? But we've also all done the things that she did, which was knew better and didn't do better. And then when it's over, we're feeling foolish because we took in a snake that we felt sorry for, that we felt if I could just bring this snake back to life, then, maybe it's my compassion and my love and my care and, my looking out for this snake that's going to change who this snake is. And time after time, we find that a snake is a snake is a snake. So here's the question I had to ask myself, right? Because I'm a discerning individual, right? Was this a distraction? Or was this a wake-up call? Because here I am, I've been working so hard behind the scenes, you guys. Like, I have been busting my behind, okay, putting together what I truly believe is the most revolutionary break free program that is on the market today. And why do I say that? Because this was a labor of love, right? From the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of my pain, honey, okay? Because everything that I needed to, all the tools, right, that I needed to break free from the narcissistic abuse and the spiritual abuse and the toxic relationships that I had, right? Everything that I needed to break free was just kind of all over the place. Like, I was looking here and looking there and trying to find the exact program that would help me to really understand what happened to me and what I needed to do to break free from all of that. And so that I could reclaim my voice, reclaim my identity, and reclaim my self-worth. And so I was like, okay, well, if I'm going through this experience, then surely there are other daughters out there who are going through this very same experience. And so while I am doing the work on myself, I put together a program that has been working for me, right? And where that also shows where I've, fallen short. Like now, where I had to use my critical thinking skills, right? And critical thinking skills requires that you have self-awareness where you say, hey, you know what? Let me take a look at me for a minute. And let me see if I need to check myself in this situation. We're not surprised by the snake, but sometimes we can be surprised by our own reactions. Just when we think, like, man, I'm over this, we find that, like, we still fall short from time to time. So here's what I came up with, right? Like, maybe I need to do a better job. Maybe I need to do a better job at breaking down this this thing called religious narcissism and spiritual abuse. Because the fact of the matter is that we all know why this daughter fell for my father's schemes. We know why. Because he's a religious narcissist. And we are simply not prepared, right? We're simply not prepared. We have been so conditioned in our religion and in our culture and what we believe in that we fall for these types of people all the time. It happens in and out of the church, y'all. And so, because I've been able to have this experience growing up with a religious narcissist, then it's a responsibility that I have to break this down even further. I mean, true enough, we're all going to make the decisions that we're going to make, right? We're going to know better and not do better, because we're human beings. And sometimes we do want to give the benefit of the doubt. But it's daughters like me who know better, who are like, look, you can't give the benefit of the doubt to these people. They're the snake. They're the deadly snake. They're going to bite you every time. That is their nature. That is their purpose. That is all they do. And it doesn't matter if you are the most educated person, if you are the richest person, you can totally fall. You could totally fall for these people. You're not exempt. I'm not exempt. I grew up this way and I feel like I have a keen sense of how these people are. Like I could spot them a mile away plus. But I'm not exempt from falling for this. So I don't need to get so high and mighty to think, well, you should have done better. You knew better. We all do. See, this is why I feel that the sisterhood, The kingdom code, community of daughters everywhere, the community of discerners everywhere is important. Because it was another woman with discernment that I even listened to in this situation. And that is what we need in this time, y'all. We need a community of women with discernment. And we need to be looking out for each other. This is a different breed of narcissists that we're dealing with here. And because our faith is so important to us, and we have been so caught up in the ritualistics of it all, in the religion of it all, that is going to really take us standing with each other, giving each other a little grace. Now I did, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I'm not I'm a girl's girl, but I'm one of those that will speak truth now. Like, sis, now you wrong now, you know? But that's the type of sis I want in my life too. I want I want to be around some sisters with discernment. And as a matter of fact, if you are discernment averse, okay, if you don't believe in discernment, if you don't use discernment, and like, please do not try to be my friend. Please do not. But I promise you, that's really the only requirement to be my friend is that you must have discernment. You must have a way of making good decisions. Like, we cannot, y'all, like, seriously, we cannot be around people who don't know how to make good decisions, who don't know how to think critically, who don't know how to self reflect, who don't know how to take accountability, who don't know how to analyze a situation, read a room. Like, y'all, we cannot be around those type of people in today's time. So was this a reality check, or was this a wake up call? Or was this a distraction? I'll tell you this, the lady who my father has manipulated and by all accounts appears that, allegedly, well, I guess we'll say it like that, taken advantage of. She's going to be on the show next week, and I'm looking forward to talking with her. And one thing that she said to me is that she looked at my father as a father figure. And y'all, I think that's where a lot of us go wrong. Like, we're all wounded, like there's this thing that I think R.C. Blake's coined it. He calls it the father wound. And then there was another person, I can't even remember who this person is. They call it the father fracture. I just call it daddy issues. Okay. But we all have this craving for what we feel like we didn't have. And so in my mind, when she said that, I just thought like, he's father goals? Like, he's like that's who you look at as a father figure when like his own daughter wrote a whole book about the father he was? But I think that's where a lot of our pain starts. I mean, I'm not exempt from it either. Sometimes I look at like not TV dads, but like the TD Jakeses, and I see how he is with Sarah Jakes Roberts, right? And I have like this longing within me, like, man, I wish, my father was really had a relationship with God, was really like the man that he preached that he was. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish that he, could support my gifting and, support um God's place for me in ministry, you know? I wish that when I see them. And I suppose that people probably saw mine and my father's relationship from a distance and thought they wanted what we had. But see, that's why I created this community of daughters. Because I promise you, that's where our pain first started. It was in those relationships, those foundational relationships with our parents, or the lack thereof, the absence of parents, or, for whatever reason. And it's really shaped who we are and the decisions that we make. And that's what's hindering a lot of us from really being able to use the gift of discernment, because our craving for what is toxic and unhealthy is like taking over. It's like we crave the lies. I think a lot of us want to be deceived. Like, don't tell me how it really is, because maybe I can't handle it. But that's why we need a community of women, daughters. And I don't even want you to call yourself a woman. I don't even want you to call yourself a female or a girl. Call yourself a daughter. Like, it just hits different, right? Like, I'm a daughter. I'm somebody's daughter. Like, handle me with care. I'm somebody's daughter. Talk to me nice. I'm somebody's daughter. Don't just treat me any kind of way. I'm somebody's daughter. And if we all like look at each other like that, like, that's somebody's daughter. I'm somebody's daughter. And I think that requires us to respect each other and consider each other and see the humanity in each other on a whole other level. So, was it a distraction or a wake up call? It was both of them, right? It was both of them, right? Both. And that's how you should look at your situations, any situation that you face, critically. What is this situation supposed to teach me? And for me, I think that I need to break it down more, right? Break down this religious narcissist and the harmful effects of spiritual abuse. I wrote a guidebook a couple of months back that's been out on ebook called The Religious Narcissist Decoded. And it's a guidebook to discerning, a step by step guide to discerning the tactics and impact of religious narcissism. So, over the next, couple of weeks or few weeks, I'm going to be reading through that guidebook and making sure I break it down to the lowest common denominator, okay? So that we all know, like, I don't want there to be any confusion as to who these people are and how damaging they are. We cannot allow this snake and the farmer story to keep happening. Like, I can't afford another snake in the bosom situation, okay? Like, I can't. And I don't think you can either at your big age, okay? At this stage in your life when you are on the brink of greatness, you can't no, you don't have time for another snake in the bosom story. That is not that is not going to be your story anymore. Because this is the time when we know better and we do better. We move differently. We think differently. We're on a whole other level with it. Because our calling, our purpose in life, our goals and aspirations and what we believe in, no, we just don't have time for that anymore. We're not picking up any more snakes and bringing them back to life, only for them to get strong and bite the shit out of us. That ain't happening. Not anymore. So let this be your wake up call. And don't ever let it distract you. I love you and I thank you for listening. And remember, you are important to me. I need you to survive. This is Delores, the pastor's daughter. Bye bye for now.